Hi, thank you for joining me on Jane Reads today. I am Jeanette. Today I have a book haul to share with you. I am so excited about this. However, I went a little book crazy recently. I had decided in the middle of February that I was going to do a reward system. For every book I read, I would earn a cent a page, and then that would go towards like the funds that I had to buy a book. So, for example, if I read a book that was 250 pages long, I'd earned $250 towards my book budget. Well, that was going well until I had a week of vacation. I placed a book outlet order. Then I was able to go to the book outlet store in person, which was amazing. My first time ever being there. And then I did some thrift store shopping. So I came home with a few books. So I'm going to start with my thrift store finds. And I'm going to start with the only book that is not Christian fiction. After this book, every other book is Christian fiction. So the first one I picked up is Fahrenheit 451. This is by Ray Bradbury. This is a classic. I remember reading it in high school and really enjoying it. And I've always kind of wanted to read it again and see. And I'm trying to read a few classics. Not going really well, but I'm trying. So this is the first one I picked up. Then at the same thrift store, I found this 3-book set. So I went on Goodreads to see, is this a full set? Because, you know, if there was 4 books, do I really want 3? I've never read anything by Elizabeth Camden before, but when I went on to Goodreads, I saw that a lot of my friends really enjoyed this set, and it is all 3 books, and they're in like amazing condition. So, and they were $3.29 each. Like, I couldn't pass them up. I've really got into historical fiction lately, and I thought I want to find a couple more authors in that genre. So the first book is The Spice King. Yes. So it says, Gray has dedicated his life to building an acclaimed global spice empire, but it has come at a cost. Resolved to salvage his family before they spiral out of control, he returns to his ancestral home for good after years of traveling the world. As a junior botanist from the Smithsonian, Annabelle Larkin has been charged with the impossible task of gaining access to the notoriously private Delacroix plant collection. If she fails, she will be out of a job, and the family farm in Kansas will go under. She has no idea that in gaining entrance to the Delacroix world, she will unwittingly step into a web of dangerous political intrigue far beyond her experience. Unable to deny her attraction to the elusive business tycoon, Annabelle will be forced to choose between her heart and loyalty to her country. Can Gray and Annabelle find a way through the storm of scandal without destroying the family Gray is fighting to save? It really sounded interesting, and it said it's set in the Gilded Age. So their book 1 is The Spice King, book 2 is A Gilded Lady, and book 3 is The Prince of Spies. So I look forward to reading those and trying them. Then I went to another thrift store and I found The Curse of Misty Wafer by Jamie Jo Wright. Now I have heard so much about this author, but I've never read anything by her, and I've really been enjoying suspense and dual timelines, so I thought, why not? This one was $4. So I'm like, I can't pass it up. So I got that one as well. Then in my book outlet order, I ordered Unknown Threat by Lynn Blackburn. This is book 1 of her Defend and Protect series. Book 2 just came out in March. I don't have it yet, but it's on my to-read list. I fell in love with Lynn's writing after reading her first 3-book series. She did write for Love Inspired Suspense, but I haven't read any of those ones, and then she's gone to like the full-length novels. So this is obviously a suspense book. So U.S. Secret Service Special Agent Luke Powell is lucky to be alive. 3 of his fellow agents have died in unusual circumstances in the past 10 weeks. Luke is devastated by the loss of his friends and colleagues, and his inability to locate the killer feels like a personal failure. He and his team are experts at shielding others, but now the protectors are in need of protection. So that just sounds really interesting, and I really enjoy suspense. So I'm looking forward to this one. Then I got another suspense book, The Crushing Depths. This is book 2 of the Coastal Guardians series by Danny Petrie. Book 1 is The Killing Tide, and I really enjoyed book 1. So I had to get book 2. It just says, when an accident claims the life of an oil rig worker, Coast Guard investigators Rissy Dawson and Mason Rogers are flown to the scene 38 miles from shore. Tensions aboard the rig are high, and the death has everyone on edge. Environmental activists just off the rig's starboard side are threatening to do whatever it takes to stop the plague on the environment from continuing its work. Meanwhile, rumors are circulating on board about an ancient curse lurking in the depths below. I don't know, and like this cover just intrigues me. Like, I like the shadow of the lady and the water. Like, it just, I don't know, just so pretty. Then I ordered a 3-book set. This is On a Summer Tide by Suzanne Woods Fisher. Now, I have read this book. This is book 1 of the series. It is the Three Sister Islands series. I really, really enjoyed this book, and I have not read books 2 and 3, so when I saw that they were available as well, it's like, okay, I'll get the whole set. So this is set on an island just off of Maine. And just, Maine is one of those, I went to visit it probably about 3 years ago now, and I absolutely loved our time there. It was just so pretty, so relaxed, like kind of exactly what I had in my mind expected it to be. And I really, like, it's on my list to go back to again. So I'm like, well, if I can't go in person, I can live through the book and pretend I'm there. So this is a contemporary romance series. Yes, just double check I'm right. This, I'm pretty sure this is Three Sisters. I know it says Three Sisters Island, but yes. Camden Grayson, Madison Grayson, and Blaine Grayson. So book 1 is On a Summer's Tide. Book 2 is On a Coastal Breeze, and book 3 is at Lighthouse Point. And like, aren't these covers just pretty? I love the blue of them, like, and the blue green, like, I mean, water, obviously, ocean. Then I got another contemporary romance. It is Irene Hannon's Blackberry Beach. This is book number 6 in this Hope Harbor series. Sorry, this is number 7 of the series. So I really like Irene Hannon as an author, but I really enjoy her suspense line more, but I've also fallen in love with the setting of Hope Harbor and the characters she brings there. Like, it just, it's so pretty. She just creates it, and I can just picture it in my mind. And then, I mean, it's kind of cool because, oh, I just saw it, and the inside has like a little map, so you can kind of see her little town, how it's kind of set up in her mind, how she expects it to be arranged. So I'm not going to read the back because, again, I said this is book 7 of the series. I do know, though, that they're not like a continuation, like the characters carry over, but you can read them out of order. It's just you might get to know some of the relationships ahead of time. But the storyline themselves kind of starts and stops again. Like, I don't think you would be completely lost. Now, I'm one that I know if it's book 2 or book 3, book 4, I'm gonna read book 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7. Because I can't stand not doing things in order. That's just, my brain doesn't work that way. Then, this was the whole reason I placed a book outlet order, even though I knew I'd be going in person in the next few days after I placed the order. However, I couldn't take the risk that they didn't have this book there because on the website there was only 2 books in stock. And I couldn't risk it. So this one is No Journey Too Far by Carrie Ternasky. I'm really not sure. This is a sequel to one of my favorite books, No Ocean Too Wide. I had never read Carrie's books before reading No Ocean Too Wide, and I absolutely fell in love with that book. However, by the time I got to the end, it ended on a cliffhanger. And I didn't know it was a book, like a 1-2 set. And then book 2 wasn't available yet at the time, so it is now available and out. So I will definitely be going back and reading book 1. However, I had an advanced reader's copy of it when I read it, so I need to buy it. And now that I have this one in paperback, I need to get book 1 in paperback. But and also again, the pink, this is a historical fiction, and it says romance on the back. I don't remember book 1 really being a romance, but book 1 starts off in London, England, and the characters travel over to Canada, so then this one picks up in Canada. So that's kind of intriguing as well, because as I'm Canadian, having books set in my own country is kind of rare, so it's nice to read ones that are every once in a while, even if we're going back in time to 1909. But that's okay, because I've really enjoyed historical fiction lately. So that was my book outlet order. Then when I was in store, I took my husband, and my husband's not a book person, but he was very good, very patient with me, and I was there for at least an hour and a half, just kind of browsing the little section, kind of the section I was definitely interested in, and a little bit more. And then when we left and we were driving back to our next stop, he's like, "Did you see the TV section?" I was like, "No." So now I need to go back. But, oh well. But he really enjoyed the drive there. It's about 2.5 hours maybe from our place. So it's not somewhere we're going to get, and there's nothing really else in that direction that would drive us there. So I don't know how often we'll actually get in the store. But it's probably a good thing, because it might be a little bit too tempting. I mean, the website itself is too tempting. So, yeah. So anyways, the first book I picked up was Point of Danger by Irene Hannon. This is book 1 in her Triple Threat series. So I don't have book 2 yet, and book 3 is set to be released in November. So up till November, I will be hunting for book 2, and then I will get book 3 in November so that I can read 1, 2, 3. So this one says, hate mail was one thing, this was quite another. Radio talk show host Eve Riley is used to backlash from her pot-stirring on-air commentary and interviews. But now it seems a disgruntled listener is resorting to more than angry words to express their displeasure. When a suspicious package arrives on her doorstep, Eve turns to law enforcement for help. Protective Brent Lang can't find any evidence to link the string of unsettling incidents that follow, but he's convinced they're connected. As the harassment grows more menacing, it becomes clear someone wants Eve's voice silenced permanently. But unless he can track down her elusive foe, the gutsy woman who is willing to take risks for what she believes and who is swiftly winning his heart may not survive. So, I mean, if you didn't guess it, this is a romantic suspense. So I'm really looking forward to this series. Then I went over to the biography section and I picked up Grateful American by Gary Sinise. Gary was one of the lead actors on CSI New York, is where I really fell in love with him. And then he also played Lieutenant Dan in the movie Forrest Gump with Tom Hanks. And this book is put out by Thomas Nelson. So that really intrigued me because Thomas Nelson is a Christian publishing company. So it's like, is he Christian? I don't know. I'll have to read and see, kind of get a little bit more insight. I do know, though, that he works quite a bit with veterans. And I thought it'd be really interesting to read his story. I like learning about people, and kind of especially ones that, I have this impression of, and I wonder if, how much is it kind of based on TV or what you see, like, so getting it in his own voice will be interesting. Then I picked up another historical fiction, A Rumored Fortune by Joanna Davidson Politano. I'm not sure if I'm saying her last name right. So when I saw this one, and then they had, I think there was 3 other books by this author as well. And because I've gotten into historical fiction and kind of wanted to find a few more authors to follow, like to read. So I went on my Goodreads account to see kind of which book is the highest rated among my friends, because my friends have very similar, on Goodreads, have very similar reading preferences to me. So like, kind of, if they've enjoyed something, I most likely have enjoyed it as well. And this was the highest rated one of them all. So it says, Teresa Harlow's father kept his vast fortune hidden somewhere on his estate in the south of England and died suddenly, without telling anyone where he concealed it. Now Teresa and her ailing mother are left with a mansion and an immense vineyard and no money to run it. It doesn't take long for a bevy of opportunists to flock to the estate under the guise of offering condolences. Teresa knows what they're really up to. She'll have to work with the rough and rusticated vineyard manager to discover the key to finding her father's fortune before someone else finds it. So I picked this one up. The next book I picked up was The White City by Grace Hitchcock. I saw this on another booktuber's video, and they had just hauled it. I cannot remember who it was. I really was trying to remember, and I cannot find it now. But when they were talking about it, it sounded so intriguing to me. It is a historical fiction. It is set with the Chicago's World Fair, and Winifred believes she has witnessed somebody being kidnapped, and as she is trying to convince her father, who is the inspector of the Chicago police, to look into this disappearance of this person. But he just dismisses her, so she takes it upon herself to try to figure out what's happened. It just intrigued me, and the cover just drew me in. Like, I love this black and white with a little touch of gold. Like, it just, I don't know. So when they mentioned it, I'm like, I added it to my wish list right away. And then when I saw it in person, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get it. So, yeah, if you've read it, let me know. Then I picked up a contemporary romance, The Two of Us by Victoria Byland. This was one of my favorite reads from 2017. So I want to read it again and see, am I going to enjoy it as much as I did 5 years ago? We'll see. I've always liked this cover. Like, I like not being able to see the people's faces so that you can picture it yourself, but you still get like the touch, and I mean, it's a romance, right? So after 2 broken engagements, Mia Robinson is done with dating. From now on, she's focusing on God and her goal to join an international aid organization as a nurse practitioner. But when her 18-year-old sister Lucy calls with an invitation to her Vegas wedding, it throws a wrench into Maya's plans. Jake Turner has recovered from the injuries he sustained as a police officer on the outside. Inside, he's yet to heal from losing his partner in the tragedy, but finds some solace in keeping an eye on her young adult son, Sam, who's asked him to be his best man at the wedding. Mia expects a mess when she arrives to sort out the situation with Lucy, but she wasn't expecting Jake, who views the marriage a little differently. As Jake's and Mia's lives slowly become more intertwined, could his courage and her caring heart be enough to bring them a lifetime of healing? So, yeah. I look forward to rereading it and seeing if I enjoy it as much as I did the first time. Then the last two books I picked up were One Final Breath by Lynn Blackburn and In Too Deep by Lynn H. Blackburn. So this is books 2 and 3. This is book 2, this is book 3 of her dive team investigations. Book 1 is called Beneath the Surface, and I have that one on my Kindle. And this was the series that drew me into her writing and made me want to pick up the next series that she's just come out with. I loved the suspense, the co-worker relationships, the way the characters were developed. Like, she kept me invested in her story and her writing style. So I'm really excited, and I love the way they, not much else to say, but I really like this series. All 3 books I rated 5 stars when I read them initially. So again, I want to reread and see, now that I've read or will have read her second series, will I enjoy this one as much, or will it be her newer series? I don't know. So then the last book I bought in March, which technically was the first book I bought in March, was a Kindle book. It was Let It Be Me by Becky Wade. It was on sale on my Kindle, so I decided to go ahead and buy it, and that is book 2 of her Misty River series. I have read book 1, so book 2, and then book 3 releases June? May? June? One of those 2 months. Well, I'll have to go back to my anticipated releases video to remember which month it comes out in. So as soon as book 3 comes out, then I plan on reading 1, 2, and 3, because now I have 1, 2, and I will get 3. So those are 20 books I bought in the month of March. So as I said, I kind of blew my book budget for the month, for maybe a few months. But I plan on starting kind of my book limit again now, kind of the beginning of April. And because, I have lots of books on my TBR now, right? I have lots available to read. So how do you guys do? Like, what books do you want to get read next? What book out of all these do you feel I should read next? Thank you for joining me today. Have a good day. Bye.